All right. So in the last video, we talked about adding and subtracting monomials, which after a couple of examples, you should have caught on. It's just combining like terms, nothing more. All right. Um, so we move on, right? We start to talk about some of the other things that we can do with monomials, right? Well, the other things we can do, obviously, um, we add, subtract, we multiply, right? That's the next of our many operations that we can perform. So, in multiplying the monomials, that's what we're going to talk about today. There's um, a rule that we're going to follow. Now, before I give you the rule, I'm going to just go through the first example. And so, because of that, we're going to skip down, right? A couple of lines here, and we'll go to example one. And so, in this, right, we've got x to the third power times x squared. Okay, so x to the third times x squared. We're going to be multiplying these two together. And what you have to think about is, right, what is really going on here? Well, ignoring, right, that we have that operation, just think about what does x to the third mean? Well, x to the third, um, right, thinking about that is x times x times x. Okay. And so then I'll be multiplying that times x squared, which is x times x. So what do I end up with, right? X times x times x times x times x, which I could condense this, right? I could shrink this back down, push it back together, um, and just say x to the fifth power. Okay, so what happened, right? What is going on between the 3 and the 2? And obviously, right, you hopefully caught this right away, that we're just going to add them. Okay, we're just going to add the exponents as we work through multiplying. All right, so now we call that the product rule. Okay, and the product rule is as such: x to the a times x to the b, and that's an a, not a 9. Okay, x to the a times x to the b is equal to x to the a plus b. That's it. That's all it is. Now, the beauty in this is that we can do this with multiple ones. The labels don't have to match. Okay, things can be mix matched. And we'll look at an example of that. Okay, so example two. All right, so example two, we've got, let's go with 3y times 4y to the third. Okay, so labels don't match. We've got coefficients now. What do we do? Well, the beauty in this, right, is that this is just all multiplication, right? This is 3 times y times 4 times y times y times y. So if you write this out, 3 times y times 4 times y times y times y, we can start to see maybe what's going to happen. Okay, but with multiplication, there is no limit to the order in which you have to do things, right? So if I said 2 times 3 times 4, right, this is just side thought, okay? It's the same as 2 times 4 times 3, which is the same as 4 times 3 times 2, etc., right? So I can do this in a different order. I could say 3 times 4 times y times y times y times y. Well, this I can actually do. 3 times 4 is 12. This one I can shrink down, right? Those 3 or 4 shrink down, right, to y4. Well, what happened, right? If you look at the pattern here, we multiplied the 3 and the 4 because they are the coefficients. They are the whole numbers that are going to work together to go up front. The variables then, y and y to the third, get added together. Okay, so there you have it, right? There's your answer for that one, 12y to the fourth. Okay, so let's get a little crazier, right? Let's go a little different with this. Let's go 7x squared times 3y to the fourth. Okay, so what now? Okay, again, you have to understand, right? I don't expect you to do this because it's not necessary. You just have to understand what's going on. I'm trying to illustrate it so that you can visualize, so that you trust the process that's going on, so that as you come up with these different examples, you can, or answers, you can trust that what you've done is going to be correct. So what do I have? I have 7 times x times 3 times y times y times y times y. Okay. Well, great. I'll put the 7 and the 3 out here, the x and the x and the y and the y and the y and the y. And you can see why I wouldn't want to continually do this step here, because as you do this with larger and larger exponents, you're writing too many and you'll probably forget one. But I know 7 times 3 is 21. I can't do anything with the x's and I can't do anything with the y's as far as combining them. So they just stay x squared y4. So everything has come together. And that is just, again, because this is what's really going on in the background, right? We're just taking things and reorganizing them because it's all multiplication. We can do it in any order we wish, into numbers out front, letters behind. Now, what's to be said about the letters? The letters need to be alphabetical. Okay, and that's just to say that 21y4x squared, while not mathematically wrong, you are going to get the same answer, right? If we were to perform either one of these, knowing what the y and the x value might be. This is just not accepted, right? That is not the conventional way to write this. You want it to be alphabetical. Okay, so always put things in an A, B, C format. Okay, so let's get real crazy with this last one, and then we'll call it a day. So let's combine what we should know and what we know. All right, what we just learned. So I've got 4, A3, B4, 5A, B squared plus A squared B 5 negative 2A squared B. All right, so there's our problem, right? They want us to clean this up. There's no problem, right? I can do this. I know that I'm only going to take it a little bit at a time, so we're gonna ignore this side of the problem altogether. I'm just going to multiply those two together, right? Because order of operation says multiplication comes first. So multiplying these two terms together, right? That's going to give me 20 for the numbers, right? And then I'm just going to add the A's because I would have had 4 of them written out, and the B's, I'll add them as well. So B to the 6th. Now, a little bit of insight here. If I am going to be adding these together, then when I finish this label, whatever this ends up being, if it's going to add, it's going to have to match that. Okay, so If it doesn't match that, it doesn't mean I'm wrong. It just means I'm going to question my work. Okay, I'm going to question this multiplication here, um, just because, right? I'm thinking I should be able to clean this up fully. I'm going to double check it if it doesn't match. But as we go through, we know there's a 1 right here. There's an understood 1. So 1 times -2 is still -2. A squared and a squared would combine to make a to the fourth, and b to the fifth, and b is b to the sixth, because there is an understood 1 right there. All right, so now we've got matching labels, right? A4B6, A4B6, right? All we have to do is 20 plus -2. Right, so 20 plus -2, 18, a to the fourth, b to the sixth. All right, don't make it harder than it has to be, right? We're going to multiply the coefficients, and then we're going to add the exponents. Okay, multiply the coefficients, add the exponents. I'm going to throw out some practice for you today. As well, just like I did yesterday, so that we can kind of get prepared. We will be looking for some independent homework on Thursday, and then there'll be another video with some practice on Friday. Okay, so I'll leave you to it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know. If not, I'll put out an answer key on Thursday with the practice answers, just to make sure that you did everything correctly before you get started on that independent work. All right. Thanks for your time, guys.